couple weeks ago, I interviewed a billionaire in Beverly Hills. Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Question for you.
Yeah.
How old were you when you became a millionaire?
You have to ask a millionaire.
What do you mean?
I'm a billionaire.
You're a billionaire?
Yeah.
How old were you when you became a billionaire?
Oh, in my 50s.
In your 50s?
Yeah.
And what line of business were you in?
The hospitality business.
What were you doing in hospitality?
I own hotels. Yeah,
Actually-
all over the world, 35 countries.
So you're a business owner.
I was. Hilton owns my company today.
Hilton bought your company?
Hilton bought my company.
Wow.
Eventually, yeah. I actually created a company that was worth $2.2 billion, 3.3 billion equity value. Actually, enterprise value, yeah.
Wow. That video got over 100 million views across social media. And like he said, he became a billionaire by selling his company to Hilton for several $billion. So I just flew out here to Beverly Hills to come meet up with and interview the legend once again at his house. That's Stephen Cloobeck. And I flew out here to get the secrets from him on how somebody can become a billionaire in today's world and become successful just like him. So let's waste no more time. Let's go meet up with Stephen and go see what he has to say. Come on. All right, you guys, so we just got to Stephen's house out here in Beverly Hills. We're gonna go link up with him and go get not $1 million, but $1 billion worth of game from you guys from an absolute legend out here in Beverly Hills. Come on, you guys.
What's up, guys?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Yourself?
How you doing? Yeah, we're doing a video with Stephen.
Yeah, you guys
How you
have your
IDs?
yeah,
Okay.
IDs, please.
Yeah, I got you.
Oh, wait.
Are you from?
Here they are.
Wow. How you doing? It's great to see you. How you doing, my friend?
Stars.
Great
What's
to
going
see you.
on?
You know, the last time I saw you, we did over 100 million views online.
You're a rock star.
I
What
appreciate
you
you.
have going and what you're creating for young entrepreneurs is so special. I'm telling you, I've never seen anything like it. You've got magic, and everyone should pay attention.
Like I said, our last video did over 100 million views.
I can't believe we did over 100 million views. And you know what? It's all real. You are 100% unscripted and real. If anyone says anything else, they don't understand. It's no different when I did Undercover Boss. Everyone's like, that's fake. No, that's real. That is totally unscripted. And that's the way the world should be.
The people saw you started negative $20 million in the hospitality business.
Yeah.
Flipped it around, sold a company for how much to Hilton?
$3.3 billion equity value, EV, yeah. It was a great role. We fixed the most broken of companies.
So for the people that don't know, after exiting your company, having a ton of success in the business world, what are you doing right now?
You know, the most unthinkable. My whole career has been unthinkable. I never dreamt of the things that I've done. I never thought that I would help create the brand of the United States of America, Brand USA, to enhance tourism and travel after the lost decade of travel.
So you ran tourism for all the United States.
Help create Brand USA. I was in charge of tourism for the United States. I reported to the Oval Office, and I kind of ruffled some feathers. But when I got done, the return on investment was so outsized. The President of the United States was blown away because I made everyone look good. No trophies for me, no hair gel, no red carpet. I just roll up my sleeves and get the work done. And I want everyone to become rock stars. So no pride of authorship. I want everyone to do well and aspire to do great things. Thought I was going to be a surgeon. Didn't end up doing that. Didn't want to go to school for another 16 years. Ended up going into real estate shopping centers, then hotels. Done a lot of politics and policy along the way as an activist, helping out, always helping, rolling up my sleeves. Busboy to boardroom, I think I told you that. And I just love serving. So it's so funny. When I did Undercover Boss, I never really understood. I thought they were going to hurt my brand, but help my brand because it made me a better leader because I listened to my team. I listened to my customers. And it's not what I think or you think. It's what the customer thinks. So I am now more ingrained in politics and policy, and I'm running for governor of California. I never thought I'd be doing that. It wasn't on my bucket list.
Now, I came out from Austin, back out here to Beverly Hills for part 2, and I want this to be a masterclass for all the aspiring young entrepreneurs, professionals out there on how you built your success.
We're going to make that happen. I'm happy to talk to you about it.
Absolutely. Let's get into some questions then.
Good, let's do it. You want to go sit in the other room? We'll chat about it.
Let's do it.
All right, good.
The first hotel that you had built was in 1990. It was the Twin Towers in Las Vegas, or what was it?
Polo Towers.
The Polo Towers. Were there some challenges back then during the 90s that you had to deal with?
I'd never built a hotel. I built shopping centers. And I built one shopping center, fortunately, that had every problem imaginable. My contractors went broke. I paid for lumber twice. I didn't understand lien releases. All my tenants went broke. The economy was falling apart. And I had to build this thing myself. And then I found out I had to build a retaining wall, which is wickedly expensive. That was not on the plans. So I had to build this thing myself. I had to learn how to really build, read plans and build. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to blow my brains out. And I weathered through it. I ended up losing the shopping center. I didn't go broke, but I lost it because everyone lost everything at that time. But I survived. But I was able to design and build a hotel. And I did it when I was 29 years old. And Polo Towers was the largest hotel timeshare complex ever built at one time in the world. And we did it in Las Vegas, and I did it with my father because I worked for my father at that time. It was on time, on budget, and we got it done. And it was just a wild success, but it was very, very difficult. Nobody had ever done that.
So talk to me about when you're starting out, 29 years old, you have no idea at that time how to actually build a hotel. What are some of those relationships that you went to go establish to be able to make all that happen?
I always kept things fresh. I always listened to my customer to see what they wanted because I used the term polo. Polo is kind of a fancy game, but my customer was mid-market. So I didn't want to make the project uncomfortable for the customer. So it's not that staid old English look. It's very modern. And of course, funny, Ralph Lauren sued me because we used the name Polo Towers. I fought Ralph Lauren because I had marked Polo Towers for hotel, timeshare, and casino. They never did. We ended up spending some serious dough, and I ended up getting that brand name against Ralph Lauren. You want to talk about brass balls. But look, I'm big on trademarks. I'm big on domains. I'm big on trademarks, big on brand. So you just keep your head down and fight the fight.
You guys, Stephen has been going crazy so far, and I'm about to get right back to the interview. But before we do that, I want to tell you the number one thing that I've learned from spending time with billionaires like Stephen. See, I've interviewed over 15 billionaires in the last 3 years and over 1,000 multimillionaires. And you want to know the number one secret, the number one shortcut to success and how they became millionaires or billionaires? It was mentorship. It's finding the people that you want to be exactly like and learning everything that you can from them. The only way to go from point A to point B in life and business and anything is getting mentors. And a lot of you guys reach out and ask me, hey, how do I get mentors? How do you, meaning myself, connect with the millionaires and the billionaires that I interview every single week? And for that reason, since that's the number one thing that you guys ask me, I'm going to give you right now the ability to come get mentored every single week from the millionaires and the billionaires that I interview on this channel. Guys, I built one of the largest communities for business owners in the entire world called the School of Mentors. And like I said, guys, every single week I bring in a multi-millionaire or billionaire entrepreneur that built or sold a company for 8 figures, 9 figures, or $1 billion, just like Stephen. In fact, Stephen literally mentored my community a couple months ago where all the members got to get on a 2-hour-long Zoom call with him and ask them specific questions about their business. He taught our community how to get access to money and capital to be able to buy assets like real estate, even if you have no money to your name. He taught our community how to start, grow, and eventually sell their business just like he did for over $3 billion to one of the biggest companies in the entire world. So if you guys want to come get mentored every week from the most successful business owners in the entire world for free, all you have to do is go down to the link in the description of this video to join my private entrepreneur community, the School of Mentors. I can't wait to see you on the inside. With that being said, let's get back to the interview. Come on. All right, so we're at our next location. We got a beautiful office here, but one of the first things that stood out to me when I came in and greeted you was this. Tell me about this right here.
Iron Man. So I've got 2 nicknames, Iron Man and Wolverine. I got the nickname Iron Man because unfortunately I was walking in a crosswalk going to dinner and I was hit by a car at 40 miles per hour. I looked out of the corner of my eye, saw it coming. I jumped and hit the hood with full-on faceplant, dented the living crap out of that car, flipped like a stuntman, which I have no idea how I did it, and landed like this on my feet and forearms. And the people at the Starbucks were going like, is he dead? And I'm on the ground like this. I'm like, I'm good. As I'm gushing blood out of my face. I got a free ride to the hospital. Got 40 stitches in my face. And I got the nickname Iron Man. And the reason I got Wolverine, because I heal quick. And it played in my head over and over. Because this stuff does not get out of your head. But it gives you a new lease on life. Transformation again. This is a saying I have, and I told you this before. Stay present. This is really important in life.
They say that those who are living in the past are depressed. Those living in the future are anxious. But the ones who are present are the ones who are, calm and at peace with themselves. How important has that been for you?
Getting to the point where I can stay present has been another leap in my growth, in my journey. And it's not easy to get to. It's not. We all have journeys. And you got to step in some potholes. And you got to get beaten up a little bit. Getting beaten up, you got to understand is good because it's growth. But getting to a point where you can stay present, focusing on the person you're with, listening, that's when opportunity presents itself.
Since we're in the presence of Iron Man right here, I wanted to ask you, I interviewed a really successful internet marketer one time, and he said, you want to know who has the best personal brands? It's actually superheroes. It's people that fundamentally stand for and against something. And for the people that are watching right now, they may not know, but you invented with the government Brand USA, and you're all about branding. Talk to me about what it takes to build a brand that has longevity and is in the game for years.
Integrity, discipline, and using your experience. It takes decades and decades to build a brand. It takes minutes to kill a brand. It's all about integrity. If you lie to me, you bust my trust. Don't bust my trust. You're done. It is the most important concept in my ethos. If I find somebody that is not a person of integrity, they're dead to me. They lie to me, you're done. I'm always honest. I'm not perfect. None of us are perfect. We all make mistakes. We grow. We pivot. We get better. No one gets to 100%, but our brand is sacrosanct. We don't tarnish the brand, okay? Never, ever, ever tarnish the brand. And if someone around you hurts your brand, they don't respect you. Respect is very important. Remember, I talked to you respect. We all have a responsibility to one another, and we got to show results. It all goes to brand. Who are you as a brand? Who do you want to become? You create your own brand. Your choices. Do you want to be a leader, or do you want to be a part of the ensemble? Who are you? I'm a leader. I make tough decisions. I'm not here to please everyone, but if I please the supermajority and give my customers a little more than they bargained for, I've done the job.
What was one of the toughest decisions that you had to make?
If somebody lied to a customer, you have to be able to hold the line in your brand. And I had to fire my number one salesperson in the world. My number one salesperson in the world, because they created a cancer within the organization. And everyone says, no, you can't fire that person. Don't remove that person. When I removed that person from the organization, we grew by 20%. Tough decision. Everyone said, don't do it. I did it. That's what leaders do. And you need brass balls to do that. You got brass balls?
I do.
Good. I've got them. You want to see them?
I guess I have to.
I'm going to show you. They're right there on my desk.
I gotta see him.
Okay, I'm going to show you. So this is a gift I got. Stephen, I know you don't need another set, but I thought you may show these off as a trophy for the biggest ones ever. I love you, Pops, my father. So he did actually give me brass balls, physically and spiritually.
How did you build your first hotel? What was that process like?
I went around to all the great hotels and I studied. I spent some time. You got to do diligence. Anything you do, I always do my due diligence. Always. I traveled and I wanted to see, what works, what didn't work. And I talked to some of the great experts. I studied the likes of Four Seasons and Ritz-Carlton and Marriott to see the differences. And there was a lane for an entrepreneur because those companies had become corporate-like entities. They didn't have that entrepreneurial spirit where the chairman, CEO, founder would actually talk to the guest, would actually create the script at the front desk. Wide open opportunity.
So you weren't afraid to go and compete against those giants?
I ended up competing against those giants, and the greatest gift I got was when Marriott on Wall Street, we would make our financial presentations. We were unique. Marriott copied our deck. And my CFO told me that Marriott copied our deck, and he was so upset. And I'm like, what are you talking about? This is like the greatest trophy I could get in my life. Marriott just copied us. Now they couldn't replicate us because we were nimble.
What were you doing so differently from everybody else that they were wanting to replicate you?
We were founding entrepreneurs. Now Marriott started way back when as a founding entrepreneur, but it got corporate upon corporate upon corporate, almost government-like, a rule book. We were flexible. We became a battleship that could move like a speedboat. That's because the chairman, CEO, founder, myself, could talk about any job in the business. If you want to talk about technology, I help write the code for our back-of-house software. Tax, accounting, debits, credits, facilities management. I can make a bed.
How involved do you think the owner should be in the different aspects of the business? People talk about a lot in today's world about delegating. How involved were you in the different parts of the business as you were scaling your company from one hotel to over 435? And how many countries? You said 35 countries.
35 countries. You have to love what you do. So I would always just pop up in different departments and listen to what our team was doing to make sure we were on message. So I'd go at 50,000 feet at the board level all the way to making a bed. And if you wanted to see how our towels were placed in our bathrooms, I did it. I shot a video of me doing it. So every single housekeeper was doing it exactly as I wanted it, with the tag in the back. And I even, under each bed, had a tent card placed that said, yes, we clean here too. That's how meticulous I was, because no job in the business was outside my realm of understanding. And everyone knew that. I'll sweep a floor. I'll cook you a meal. I'll ask you what you'd like to eat. I'll go cook it for you. I will serve it to you. I will sit at the table and listen to your story. And then I will clean the table, because I'm in service. Can I delegate? Sure, I could delegate, but I teach, I coach, but they see that I can do the job too. So it's having that experience at every level of the business, which will really guide you to your success. Because everyone on the team knows we have no titles. We're all part of the same team. And it circles back to brand. Don't mess with the brand.
Talk to me about 9/11. You dealt with some adversity during 2001 because you're in the hotel business.
9/11 was very interesting because during 9/11, there were no flights. Everything was grounded. I had no guests. No one had any guests. So we had to recreate how we were going to market because there were no flights. And I actually had to call my banks because I was nervous. That till was not ringing. It was zero.
Cash registers went to zero.
Zero for everyone. What did I do? I called my bank every day to the point where they said, can you call us every 3 days? Because I wanted to let them know what was up. And I had to actually borrow some more money to get through it. But it goes to integrity. You tell them the good, the bad, the ugly. And it was ugly because we didn't know what was happening. Very nerve-wracking. You couldn't go to anyone and ask questions for advice because it never happened before. And these things happen in life. When I told you about unintended consequences, these are some of the unintended consequences. Things we can't even dream up. So how are you going to pivot? Always tell the truth. Because I've asked the bankers, I said, what are we doing different? Is everyone talking to you like we're talking to you? They go, no one is as candid as you are. No one is as transparent as I am. And a matter of fact, some people downright don't tell us the truth. Bust the trust. So we can never predict what's going to happen. But if we always have integrity, we can always solve problems. 3 sticks tied together are unbreakable if they're intertwined. Don't ever forget that.
When I interviewed you, you said that you never negotiated with your banks. Can you kind of talk to me about what was your thought process or conversation? How did you conversate with the banks? How did you get them onto your side?
I got so many no's. I mean, I literally walked up and down Park Avenue, hundreds of financial institutions and banks, and I know, wrong business, wrong time. Not just in New York, but Boston, Chicago, Miami, DC, Los Angeles. I turned over every rock and we finally got it together. We did not give up. And I learned that everyone should do well together. And it's just been my philosophy that I never want to get the edge on somebody. I want everyone to do well. All my partners will say that's the best return on an investment they've ever had. My banks have said, this guy's good for the money because he's got capacity, character, and had the credit. The 3 C's of banking. And he didn't negotiate with us. He paid us back. Matter of fact, he paid us back early. Some banks said I paid him back too early because they needed the money out longer to make a better return. So as long as everyone's always made money, that's been my philosophy. And I would encourage each and every young entrepreneur to be thankful to their investors. Be transparent, be accountable. Tell them the good, the bad, the ugly, which I've had to do. You will always do well. People understand rough times. As long as you have integrity, don't negotiate with your banks. Give your investors a good return because they'll be there the next time and the time after that.
When I interviewed you last time as well, you mentioned that in a negotiation, the first person that talks loses. Do you have a scenario where you and the other person kind of like silent for a bit? Because you said that you have to put the pen across the table and not say a word.
Yeah, I once waited a week. I wanted to make that phone call to see if they were going to do the deal. And I just get ready to pick up the phone. I'm like, don't do it. And I was going to pick up that phone and do it again. I got really anxious. I'm like, I want an answer now. And I just waited. And then I got the call. I just had a big old grin on my face. I'm so happy I did not pick up that phone and call. You have to have the patience. And as tough as it is, suck it up. Once you're done with the sale, first person who talks loses.
Don't talk past the sale is what you're saying.
Never go past the close.
Have you seen some deals blow up after that?
Yeah, because people are fucking idiots. Whoever talks first loses. I mean, when you ask for the deal, shut your mouth. Just wait it out.
Now, after selling a company for several $1 billion, you could have made the decision to ride off into the sunsets, to go travel the world on a yacht, but you're deciding to run for governor of the biggest state in the United States. Talk to me about your thought process and why you're doing that.
I wanted to live my dream. My dream was always to live in Beverly Hills because I grew up in the San Fernando Valley, kindergarten through high school, first year of college. And I just always had this dream of living in Beverly Hills. Now I could live anywhere in the world, and I wanted to live my dream, even though I was going to have to come in and pay tax. And I interviewed all of the candidates that were running for office just to get the lay of my home state. My home state. I grew up here. And I'm like, this is the best we got? You're kidding me, right? So I started to really understand the state of the state. We're not a state. California is a country. It's the 5th largest GDP in the world. And it used to be the bully pulpit of the United States. And all of a sudden, California's on defense when it should be on offense because California needs the federal government as much as the federal government needs California. It was the greatest state in the United States. And the leadership, as I interviewed them, all had something in common. They never talked to the best customers of the state. And they fled this state. That's why everyone's leaving, because there was no communication with the customer. Who can run a state or a country without talking to its best customers? And they all had nothing in common. They never signed the front of a check. So they didn't know what it was like to make payroll. They never talked to the people of the state, its customers, to see what the issues are, the problems. So I started to study. And I said, you know what? I've legislated. I've created laws in different states. I've been a regulator. I've held court. I've been an adjudicator. And I've fixed the most broken of business. And this is a broken business. This state is broken. It's closed for business. So how can I open it back up for business? business. So I started to talk to the customers of the state. I met with over 300 people, and it came down to California is not affordable, livable, nor workable. How can I fix it? I can do it with respect, responsibility, and results, which I've said before. And how did we get here? Our leaders are all failed leaders because they haven't been accountable to the customer, they haven't executed properly, and they haven't enforced the laws. And there's too many regulations. Regulations are good to keep bad actors out, but if you over-regulate, you can't do good business. But all these things are fixable, and our leaders in this state want to resist when we need to unify and collaborate. That's a new level of governing. The hardcore Republicans or the hardcore Democrats. No, how about we as customers transcend all of this and have collaborative discussions with those that can actually lead? Now, most business people would never touch politics or policy because it's just a nasty, blood-ass sport.
Politics is a nasty game. Why do you want to get involved? I'm curious.
Messy. I've dealt with messy my entire career. Everything about me is on the internet. Great. What is perceived as my opposition is my offense. I've fixed the most broken. I've been extorted. I fight extortion, and I'll fight extortion for you as my customer. There is nothing that's out there that I'm afraid of. You can say anything you want about me, and I'm doing this selflessly, rolling up my sleeves because I don't need the title. I don't need the paycheck. I'm doing this for, frankly, everyone, the customers of California. It needs command and control with somebody who's fixed the most broken. I don't owe anyone anything. I'm not bought and paid for by anyone. So I'm always going to tell you the truth. I'm going to tell you the hard truths. I always carry my helmet with me. I've had missiles shot at me. Be my guest because I know that I can roll up my sleeves and deliver the results.
Stephen, this was an incredible interview. Thank you so much for having us out.
Thank you. Thank you. Going to come on my podcast?
I'll come on the podcast.
Good.
So guys, make sure that you like and subscribe for amazing content coming every week with the most successful business owners in the entire world to come in and mentor you in these videos. And if you guys want direct mentorship with the multimillionaires and the billionaires and the most successful people I interview in the entire world, all you have to do is go down to join the School of Mentors, the #1 community for business owners, and get mentored from legends just like Stephen Cloobeck. So everybody, I can't wait to see you in our next video. With that being said, I'll see you guys soon.